Hello, Mark. We're Larson here for the Dreamcatcher podcast. Thanks for joining us. Today, my guest is Kellina Powell from Toronto, Canada. How are you doing today?
I'm doing amazing. Thank you so much for having me today.
Well, thanks for being our guest. So how's everything in Canada today?
It's so bad, everyone. Like, it is raining. Thunderstorm is on its way in like 2 minutes. So I'm fortunately being stuck at home for the day today.
Oh, so you've been getting quite a bit of rain, then?
Yes, it is. Yes.
Okay. So are you originally from Toronto?
Heidi, repeat that again?
Are you originally from Toronto?
Yes, I'm born and raised in Toronto.
Okay. So do you get to the United States? Probably do, I would guess.
Yeah, I've been to the United States a couple of times. I've been to Tennessee, Nashville. I've been to New York City, New Jersey, and Miami, Florida.
Nice.
Yeah. And I went to Buffalo as well. The borderline, of Niagara Falls. So, yeah.
Oh, you went there too? Oh. So what did you think of the United States?
Yeah. I think it's okay. It's very different. I feel like you guys drive really crazy.
I would agree on that. Yeah, especially some places. It's like, let's see how fast we can go.
It's like a lot of people drive through the red light. But Canada,
They do.
Yeah, and I think, oh my God, in Canada you get a ticket sometimes if you go through the red light. So
which is the way it should be.
Yeah,
That's definitely the way it should be.
So it's very interesting how people drive. You guys have an accent.
Especially depending on where you're at. If you're in the southern part, it is. The Eastern Coast or East Coast has, and pretty much, I mean, we do have an accent. When you're right there, you don't realize it. That's for sure. So,
exactly.
Yeah. So, okay, so what do you do in Toronto?
What do I do in Toronto?
Yeah.
Usually it depends. I do have my own 9 to 5 job. So I am a caseworker.
Really? Okay.
Yes, and I also do have my coaching business on the side. That nice. I do globally, so I don't just focus on Canadian clients. I do focus on globally, and as well, I'm an author. I do have my book published on Amazon. It's called Every Day I Am Just That.
Okay, so how long's your book been out?
My book's been out for like a year now, so it's been really amazing.
So how was that to write a book? Was that hard or was that pretty easy?
No, it was not hard at all. It literally took me 2 months to write my book. The reason for that is because it was during COVID. I actually wrote my book during COVID. Everything was locked down. I was so bored out of my mind, everyone. Like, super bored. Yeah, and I was able to get my book done in 2 months. And I made my book kind of different because it's a poetry book. So it's only 95 pages. So I think that's why I was able to finish it super quick.
That's cool. So what's your book based on?
My book is based on me, what it's like to be deaf on a daily basis. So it talks about relationship, dating, what it's like to be, in the shoes of a deaf person, daily basis. Like, what does Kellina go through as a deaf person? What was Kellina's struggle? You will be understanding what I face a lot. For example, I did mention about COVID in my book. I lost my independence. During COVID, so I mentioned that, and I mentioned a lot of my emotions and feelings and etc.
No, I mean, that would have been a good time to do it. I mean, COVID, you couldn't do much else, and so that would have been great. So, have you always been deaf, or what's the story on that?
Repeat that again. Sorry.
Have you always been deaf?
Yes.
Okay. So how was that day to day dealing with your deafness? It looks like you cope pretty well.
I mean, yeah, I can hear pretty well. I'm grateful the way how the technology improved for hearing devices for us. We do now have Bluetooth in our hearing aids and cochlear implants. So for those that are wondering how it's Kellina listening, so my hearing aid Bluetooth is connected to my iPad. So I'm able,
that's cool.
Yeah, so I'm able to hear very well during the conversation. Second thing is, I'm able to build my confidence over time. I guess it took me a really long time. Now that I am a young adult, I'm able to advocate for myself a lot more than I used to be. Because before I used to be super shy. But now I just I don't care anymore. I'm tired.
I know what you mean.
Yeah, You
Yeah.
eventually you're gonna be
Yep.
exhausted and tired. You're like, you know what, I don't care what anybody has to say. And eventually you're
Yep.
going to feel exhausted, and that's how I felt when I was literally 22 years old. And I had a young girl who's 22. Whoa, that's that's a
Uh-huh.
really
Uh-huh.
young. um,
Yeah.
it was very hard because sometimes I do need to rely on my family members to come with me to different places, right?
Sure. Sure.
Yeah, and it's very unfortunate, but my families are kind of used to it by now. That I need support in terms of them listening for me and just kind of speaking for me sometimes.
I,
So my families are really used to it. My families are business owners, so they do not have an own
okay.
9 to 5. So they do work
Okay.
on
So that
their
works
cell
out
phone.
well.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
on their cell phone, so they're able to come with me everywhere. But I do also have a little sister and a little cousin that will come with me
Awesome.
everywhere. Because I keep them busy all the time. So
That's
you
cool.
know,
I love it.
right? So I was like, hey, do you want to come with me to the store? They're like, of course. So they
Uh-huh.
will be doing the talking for me sometime if I can't understand certain people.
Sure.
So
No.
yeah, so that's how it
You,
is for me.
you seem to cope very well. I mean, you speak well, and you seem to. I mean, is there ever a time where you really struggle a certain situation?
Well, because when I actually became deaf at the age of 4, I was actually assigned to a speech therapist. So that's why my speech was so good.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
so my family put me into a speech therapist so that I can be independent when I get older to speak
Nice. Very important too. Yeah.
instead of relying on ASL, sign language. Because my family do want me to be independent when I get older because they were thinking about my future. They asked it, well, when Kellina get older, will everybody be learning ASL? No. ASL is not common back in the day for my mom when she was.
Sure.
And so my mom was like, no, like I'm sorry, but Kellina needs to speak because, God forbid in the future if she wants to, get
True. Yeah.
and so my mom was thinking about the long term. I know a lot of people ask me, like, are you upset that your mom did not, allow you to get into sign language? And I said, no, unfortunately, because this is something that my family was comfortable with. Everybody's
Yeah.
family situation is very, very different. You
Oh,
cannot,
definitely.
yeah, like, you
Yeah.
cannot get upset. And again, I tell people, I'm the first person in my family that is deaf. So for them, it's like, it's a lot for them, you know?
True.
And now for
Yeah, it's a
them,
all new territory there where they didn't know how to deal with it. Yeah.
exactly. So my family said, you know what? No, we're gonna make Kellina do a speech therapist, learn how to speak, and learn how to communicate. My speech therapist was amazing. She taught me how to communicate with the hang
Oh,
individual versus the deaf individual. So she was able to teach me it
nice.
basically. Yeah. So that's
Wow.
really
Very good.
how I really got. Cause I actually stopped doing speech therapist when I was in, I think, grade 9-ish, when I was in grade 9.
Okay.
So it's a very long
Wow.
progress for me to really speak very
Yeah.
well. Yes.
And you do. You speak very, very well. So how did you become deaf at 4?
So it actually started by an ear infection.
Okay.
Unfortunately, I was prescribed an eardrop. So my mom
Oh.
specifically told the staff at the daycare that I have an ear infection this specific time for the eardrop, and the staff did not listen at all.
Uh-oh.
I don't know if they put too much or they didn't put it on time. So that same day, I
Oh.
actually became deaf when I was walking home, and it was crazy.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was very funny because I was actually sitting down watching TV, and my mom called me and she tapped me on my shoulder, and I said, I'm like, and I looked at my mom and I said, Mom, I cannot hear you. For a 4 years old to not
Wow.
hear, it was just very scary and traumatizing. My mom was like, okay, this is not normal. Like, I know my daughter can hear
Right.
me, and I couldn't hear him
Wow.
at all. So that's how I became deaf.
Very scary. I mean, to go just like that. I mean,
Yes.
wow. No. Oh, I feel for you, but you've done so well. So when you okay, going back to your coaching, do you coach just in general? What do you coach people on?
So basically, I coach people on anxiety, depression, self-esteem, confidence, the most right
Cool.
now. So those are the top one I focus on at the moment because that's what a lot of people have been coming to me for. And I
Sure.
work on one-on-one. So I basically focus on the positive psychology. I do not focus on the negative psychology because I know a lot of
Nice.
people don't want to focus on the trauma where they just trying to figure out what's going on with them in order to move forward, right? So I
Mm-hmm.
focus on
Mm-hmm.
the goal. What is it my client is trying to achieve from their situation? And I
Nice.
also do provided journal activities. I do activities with the client just to make sure they have something provided with them so that they can do activities without me being there instead of having to rely on me so much. Like, Kellina, I need you. Kellina, I need you. Instead, I do
Uh-huh.
worksheet and activity with the client.
Nice. Very nice. So that's so cool. So do you do anything with people that are deaf then? Do you do as a side
Right.
people that are struggling with deafness? Do you do anything with people that are also deaf?
Yeah, I do. I also work with a lot of people. It doesn't matter what they have. I'm very
Uh,
open. So the doors are
awesome.
always open. I know people ask, like, are you only coaching deaf people? Because I would love to be coached too. I'm like, of course, you can come in.
Oh, that's so cool. I mean, that is very cool. So, so okay, how long have you been doing this with the coaching and everything?
So the building was because I started during COVID, so I know a lot of people didn't have
Okay.
money. So it was a little bit slow for me in the beginning because I did wanted to learn for myself how to build a company. How do you go
Uh-huh.
around with it? I really did not know. And I did
Oh,
hire a mentor and someone that
awesome.
can guide me through it to understand what it is to take to run a company. And it was really
Yeah.
amazing. And at the moment, because it's summertime, I'm taking a little step back from the company and to
Sure.
kind of recharge within the company and myself.
Which is good.
And so yeah, so it was very good, but at the same time it's very challenging. I'm not gonna tell anybody. It had love and hate relationship when you start a relationship.
Yeah, I can understand that. That's for sure too. So you went to school. What is your education?
Yeah, so I was actually in school for psychology. So I have a background in
Okay.
psychology and I have a
Nice.
background in mental health in addition.
Oh, wow. So do you help a lot of people with mental health?
Yes, I am.
Wow, that's so good because there's such a need for that. Such a
Exactly.
need. No, probably. I mean, I think probably people coming out of COVID probably no, and before and afterwards too. So how do you help? Is it coaching with them too?
Can you repeat that again? Sorry.
Is that coaching when you're dealing with a mental health, or how do you help them?
So it does involve with mental health as well. It depends on every client. Every client may not need
Sure,
the support versus other client.
sure.
So I basically, when it comes to mental health, I really focus on when was they diagnosed, what are the trigger them, what is the trigger them, and we focus on act role play therapist. So we act
Okay,
so that way they learn and find out what triggers them. How are they representing themselves? Because I feel like a lot of times we don't actually understand what's coming out of our mouth and understand the environment. Because a lot of us
okay.
don't think, and we always sometimes, like for myself, I don't really think what's happening. I just, I wish I can have
Just kind
someone
of
to tell me this is what happened. If you were to do things differently, maybe this would happen. So I do a lot of reflection, a lot with my mental health client, so that they
okay,
understand. And also I do CBT activities with them as well, so
okay,
that they can
cool.
understand why they're having this symptom, why they're having this trigger, to really understand. And I feel like a lot of us who go to a mental health professional, they don't really focus on us. They just focus on what the book said. So it's like
Yep.
some people don't really understand what triggered them. And I really did not myself until I actually started going to college, mental health in addition, to understand what was my trauma was. I really did not know. I didn't know my
Sure.
trauma was, being deaf and not communicating. I wish I had someone to sit down with and explain what happened.
Right.
And so that's what I do with my mental health client.
And that's so cool that you're doing what you wish you'd had. I mean, that
Exactly.
is so awesome because most people say they wish they had, but they don't do the next step and go forward and provide it. So that is so cool. So, do you do public speaking?
Yes, I do. I do public speaking as
I
well. Yes.
I knew you did. I could just tell. that so does that bother you? Did you speak in front of people?
Uh, a little bit. I'm not gonna
A little
lie.
bit with me.
I wouldn't say bother me. It makes me nervous. My anxiety, I would say,
Yeah,
to go high because I don't want to mistake in my words. And
understand that.
sometimes, like even for me, I remember one time I love doing a virtual because it's a less eye on me where I can just focus on myself on the screen versus
Uh
one
huh.
in person. There's so many
Right, right,
eyes,
yeah,
so I'm
exactly,
like,
yeah.
oh my god, this I'm actually seeing
I'm with
it.
you.
So
Yeah.
it can be really
Oh,
different. So I was like, oh my god, oh my god. So I try my best to do my breathing technique I usually do before I go up on stage speaking to 100 of students.
so what kind of breathing do you do before you go on stage?
Okay. So I usually take a step back. I breathe 1, 2, 3 before I go on
Okay.
stage, and then when I get on stage, before I start speaking, I make 1, 2, 3, and then I start talking. And
Awesome. I got to remember that. That is
yeah,
so awesome. I love
yeah,
that. I love anything that, yeah, anything to calm you down.
yeah,
Um, I get to speaking and then it's like, what did I say? You know, it's just like I kind of go blank, and it's just like, well, I hope I didn't. You know, it just. But you probably don't have that. You probably just you know everything you're saying when
yeah.
you're doing it.
Yeah, it's
That's
naturally.
good.
It just come naturally because I feel like when you have everything script, you're gonna screw up the whole speech.
True. True. Yeah, I think it's better just to not have. That's kind of like when I started doing these podcasts. I used to have a bunch of questions, and it was better just to have what we're doing here. I believe so. Okay, what's next with your business and everything you're doing?
So I'm actually thinking about writing a children's book next.
Awesome.
Yeah. And second, I'm starting to upgrade my packages within the company. I'm also getting
Okay.
a financial advisor license to help my clients in terms of finance. I feel like
Nice.
yeah, so I feel like it's super important that we do have that discussion with our health, just because coming out of COVID, a lot of people are still out of job. A lot of people are going debt now,
Right.
right? After COVID,
Right.
because
Right.
people been using not a smart move to pay off
Yeah.
what they need to do. For example, I know some people were bankruptcy, because they couldn't afford the mortgage. Some people have to go
Right.
buy
Right.
a bunch of credit cards to pay that credit. So I really wanted to make sure I'm bringing so much more value just than the mental health services to my clients, because it's very important that my clients do able to get access to finance support as well.
That is so important because there's such a need for that too. You know, the financial education is, at least in the United States, is very much lacking. You know, I wish we got more of that in our regular schools,
Right.
but they just don't. So I commend you. That's awesome. You're going to do that too.
Thank you.
So when do you sleep?
I sleep well. I have a
Yeah.
good sleep. People ask me that all the time. You're not the only one. People are like, "How do you sleep, Kellina?" And I said, "Oh, my bedtime is 10:30 every day on the dot. I don't care.
Okay.
I literally 10:30 every day. It's my bedtime. I do sleep."
That's good, and that's a good way. Good that you have a set time too.
Yeah,
So it doesn't.
exactly. I'm a very big time management person, so if something
Awesome.
cannot be done, I will make sure it be done the next day. I will not kill myself. That's the one thing I told myself: do not kill myself.
Yeah, and that's a good way to do it because you know you hear so much. Well, I'll sleep when I die, or you know when I'm dead, and it's just like you're probably going to if you don't get more sleep. You know, some of these people, you know, they want to grind 24/7, and that's so
Exactly.
important. So what is the name of your company?
Kellina Empowerment Inc.
Okay, I love it.
Thank
So
you.
that is cool. So okay, another book. So what do you like to travel?
I do love to travel. Right now, traveling down the path because of COVID. So
Yeah.
now I noticed now it's getting busy because everybody's just finally, getting out there
Uh-huh.
now. So I'm just like, I'd rather just sit back and wait until it's less busy because I do not like being around full crowded of people. I like
Yeah.
quiet. But I love traveling so much. You don't understand.
That's good. So okay, where's some of the places you really like to travel to?
I've been to, like I mentioned, United States. I've been to Costa Rica.
Costa Rica. Did you like Costa Rica?
I love Costa Rica. It's my favorite. Oh my god, I can't wait to go back. So
I've heard really good things about it.
yeah.
Okay,
Oh my
that's
god, I'm thinking about buying a property in Costa Rica if I want
Oh,
to.
wow, you really do like it. Oh wow. Probably go there in the wintertime, maybe.
Yeah, hopefully I'm really praying, but there's so many things I have in place I really want to get to first before I
Yeah.
travel, because when I travel.
Way to do it. I love it. That's definitely.
I also been to Mexico, like Combo.
Okay.
I'm going back to Mexico to go visit Tulum as well.
Okay.
So that is my 2 travel plan right now. Go back to Mexico and Tulum, probably end of August or September. So
Nice. That's very nice. So that's good. You get your sleep, you're traveling, everything's kind of balanced there. So okay. So what are some other things you like to do? when you're not working?
When I'm not working, I love going out with my friends, and I love going to
Okay.
networking events.
Oh, do you? Okay.
Yeah, I love networking events with different people, meet people. I'm very social butterfly now. I am. Before I was not. Um,
Okay.
and I love going on venture with my little sister. I love taking
Ah, I
her
love it.
randomly for a road trip or something. Sometimes I'd be like, "Hey, you want to go to Niagara Falls?" Very random.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah,
So you have a little sister? How many siblings do you
I
have?
just only have one.
Just one. Okay, that's cool. That's really cool that you hang out with it together too.
Yeah,
I mean, that's
yeah.
because that's what it's about. It's family, that's for sure. So that is so cool. I mean, does she help you with the business?
No, she's not. No, she's too young.
Okay. Is she? Okay. So she'll probably be doing her own business when she gets older then.
I'm hoping she's thinking about doing lashes and micro blending and micro needling and like she's thinking about
Oh,
doing all.
wow.
Yeah, so I just and convinced her, not convinced her, but I'm trying to get her to go for it and make a business out of it. So
Okay. Okay. So, so, okay. During COVID, how was it during COVID? I mean, that pretty much shut everything down. I mean,
oh yeah.
what did you do then, or what happened then?
So COVID, I really very isolated. I did not go outside. To be really honest with everyone, I did
Really?
not.
Okay.
If I needed to go somewhere, it's either my mom come with me, my aunt come with me, my cousin, my sister, anywhere I have to go because I cannot go anywhere with the mask on. I truly can't.
Oh, really? Okay, so it was safe. That it was good that you did stay inside then, or
Yeah.
had them. So, okay. And hopefully your family avoided COVID.
Yeah, so after COVID,
Very
I was so much better. Felt like I was in a dark spot for a second. That's because like I was not myself. You know, I used to go outside for a
sure.
walk. But now you're just like you feel uncomfortable because you don't know who have what, and you're just like,
You do.
I'm just gonna stay home because I did end up
Yeah.
catching COVID one time.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, so I did.
Oh.
One of my
So,
my employee, one of my coworkers. So I don't know what happened, but they end up getting the whole system. I don't know. It's really bad. All the coworkers end up getting it. I end up getting it, and I was off for
oh.
like a good 2 weeks. It felt good.
Oh, wow.
It felt good to be off to take a break,
Sure.
so I can work on my
Too bad it
book.
was for that reason. Yeah.
Exactly, and so I was working on my book the whole time.
Okay. So did you get really sick, or how was that
I
with
would,
COVID?
the first few days I was really bad. I think I wasn't like hot, but I was hot a little bit, and I was coughing a lot, and my cough was really bad, dry cough, and my
Oh.
nose was running like crazy, and I had a huge headache.
Oh, really? I had a headache then.
Yeah,
That's one thing. COVID. It seemed like everybody that got COVID had a little bit different case. It's just
exactly.
was strange stuff, and it doesn't seem like it ever quite wants to ever go away. Too. I mean, it's always kind of out there. You wonder. Well, like when I was in the airport the other day, it's like if somebody's sneezing or something, it's like, are you, do you have something like that? Or it's
Are you
just
gonna
like,
react?
yeah, stay away from me. So no, I don't know, but so okay. We've kind of talked about what you want to do. So 10 years from now, what do you see your business being like?
Oh my god, I see my business going globally. I
Oh,
see,
awesome.
I see myself helping more half of the globe if I can.
I
And
can see
also,
you doing that.
yeah, thank you. And also too as well, hire employees. Hopefully they are from the disability community. Hopefully I can get the opportunity to people with the disability community to get a job. And that's my goal with
Nice.
that's my goal for my company.
That is so cool. I mean, that's a awesome 10-year goal. So, and I have no doubt you'll meet that probably before 10 years. So I would guess definitely on that. So, so this is so cool. Do you have a podcast?
No, I do not have a podcast. I'm too busy. Like I really
Yeah,
don't.
sure you are.
I don't even have the time to do it. Like the editing, it's just like it's a lot. And I have to hire people to do
Yeah.
that. I can't do it.
I can understand that. Yeah, you kind of have to draw the line. Don't want to spread yourself too thin. That's for sure. So, if you had time, would you do a podcast?
Petty?
if you had time, would you do one? A
Yeah,
podcast?
for sure. I would
Okay.
definitely do it. But that's the problem. What would I talk about?
Oh, yeah, I'm sure you would be able to come up with something. I am positive. So, do you have pets?
Do I have pets?
Like a dog or cat?
No, I do not like animals.
Okay, really? Okay, I just wondered if you liked animals. So, but don't care for them. So,
No, my aunt have a dog. We don't mind it. I don't mind pet, but just it's not something I can take up daily basis. I cannot. I see my friends have a cat, dogs, and I said it did too much,
uh,
and I couldn't do it because I'm too busy
that,
working. So it's like
true.
it doesn't make sense.
That's good. So when you get up, I mean, some of these people have a regimen when they get up. Do you have a certain thing when you get up that you do? You know, you work out, or do you journal?
So I used to donate a lot
Uh huh.
during COVID because I was so bored
Sure. Oh
again.
yeah. Uh huh.
And I used to do that a lot, but now I actually don't. For me, my routine, I try my best to get up in the morning, make a tea. I love making tea first in the morning. I don't know why.
Nice.
I don't know, like I get up. I try my best to avoid my phone as soon as I wake up. You know when you wake
I
up?
think that's smart.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I try my best to avoid it, but it's just so hard because, you know,
It is. Oh yeah.
it,
It's right there. You know. Yeah. I
yeah, and
know.
you're just like, no, phone for 5 minutes.
I can so relate with that.
Yeah, yeah. So that is usually my routine. Just get up in the morning, try to avoid my phone, make my tea first in the morning. I don't know why. I love doing that. And also too, just after when I'm doing that, I know that's gonna be worth 20 minutes. And then I would go
Yeah.
back to my phone and look it up, check my
Get
email,
started. Yep.
check my email before I go back to my 9 to 5 job. So I check my business email quickly as soon as possible just to make sure if I'm following up.
Right. Right.
And then so that way when I'm at my 9 to 5, my focus is my 9 to 5. I do not look at my business emails, no nothing. So that way it's balanced.
Very good. That's very good. You can. That's very way. That's the way to do it. That's for sure.
Right, I
So
like that.
yeah, I do too. So I have to ask. So this is the Dreamcatcher podcast. When you were younger, what was your dream? When you were a kid,
Oh my god,
what did you want to do?
my dream was to become a neurosurgeon.
Really? Wow, what a dream!
Yeah.
So would you ever pursue that now?
I'm not gonna do it because it's too long
No.
of schooling. No, thank you.
Yeah, that would be. How long would you have to go to school to do that?
I think okay. So you have to do 4 years of medical school, and then another
Right.
8 years of residency, and then you have to do a test for like 1 year, I think, and then
Wow.
it's a lot of like
That is a lot of schooling.
yeah, it's like I'm not gonna able to graduate like med school or finish it within month 35 because I have two people I knew that one of this guy he's a cardiologist.
Okay.
He literally is not even done because he said he's done the next 2 or 3 years. I'm like, whoa. And then a good friend
That's a
of mine,
long
he's
time.
a cardiologist on top of that, and
Uh
I don't know how many years this guy have because he told me and I said hell no. And then and then and then I have another friend because I know a lot of like friends that are becoming a medical field like
Oh,
or
okay. Okay.
they told me to do it. They're like, it's not a big deal. I'm like, no, I'd rather just run a company, make my money.
Yeah, and avoid all that years of school. Oh my gosh, and the cost it must be for all that schooling too.
Schooling is
So
expensive, and that's why I told them I'm not going to get myself into more debt than I need to be.
yep.
And I feel like ever since I started doing my financial literacy courses, I'm starting to learn that, business owners making a lot more money with doctors. And I was like, I had no idea. I've never been exposed to this
Yep.
stuff. So
Mm-hmm.
I was like,
Mm-hmm.
no, thank you. I'm good where I'm
Yeah.
at right now.
Yeah, and I think you really are. I can tell you. I can tell you're happy with what you're doing. That is so. That's what a great place to be. So okay. If somebody wants to work with you, how do they find you?
Everybody can find me through my website, KellinaEmpowerment.com, or they can check me out on Facebook, since I know a lot of people are on Facebook, which I didn't know. So
Okay.
everybody can check me out, Kellina Powell.
Okay. Awesome. Very awesome. So is there anything else you want to share with the audience today before we end?
For sure. So the last thing I want to let audience know is that keep going. You never know who's going to need your voice, because at the end of the day, you have one life
Very-
to live.
Amen. That is so important.
Yeah.
And what a great way to end. So so maybe have you come back on a follow-up podcast
Of course,
sometime
of
down the line.
course, of
That
course.
would be so awesome. So I look forward to that. On that, Kellina, thanks for joining us today on the Dreamcatcher podcast, and look forward to the follow-up one. And have a great rest of your day. And
Thank
we'll talk
you.
soon.
Thank you. You too. Bye, everyone.
See ya.